It is not Paul McCartney's birthday. Oh, it's Paul McCartney's birthday, the one from 1964, but this is a Paul McCartney from 1965, 1966, when Paul McCartney was either dead, it was either 65 or 66. It's not making sense. It will in a documentary you can watch on Amazon, which basically explains that here's how we go. It's a guy who looks like Paul McCartney went to a look-alike contest. When the other Paul McCartney died, he was found. They did surgeries on him. And yes, shockingly enough, for the past 50 to 60 years, he's been Paul McCartney. And why did the Beatles break up? Because in 1969, somebody said what I did. They picked up the phone. They saw the album artwork clues. It's the whole story. They saw the clues that he wasn't Paul. And they broke up shortly after. They didn't go on tour right after the Help album because they say it was the Screaming Girls and there was too much chaos. No, it's because Paul was dead and he was new and they were testing him out and he was a brand new guy and they were afraid with the surgeries on his face and the questions and they wanted to keep it secret. They wanted to just do what I'm doing, which is he's not going to respond to this video. And for years, Chris Farley, who's dead, David Letterman, who lost his job, people have always said, Paul McCartney, it's a Bruce Wayne as Batman. Right now I'm telling you, Bruce Wayne is Batman. And we all love Batman and we want him not to be the Steve Rogers Captain America. We all want it to be that he's Paul McCartney. He's not. It's not his birthday, and I knew about this until the only time I knew about this was 2016. 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We went through COVID. We went through all this craziness. Am I crazy? No, because I can talk for hours and hours about something that George Harrison said when somebody came into his amazing house, his amazing estate, with a knife and tried to kill him. Got a knife, stabbed him, stabbed him, stabbed him. His wife, the only reason I'm saying this right now is because his wife picked up a stick or hit him and knocked him the fuck out. And they made a tape and they sent it to the Bob Dylan biographer. He made a video about it. I saw it. It's all Bob Dylan's fault. Am I crazy? Is this insanity? Well, let's talk about it. George Harrison is still alive. Yes, George Harrison is still alive. He didn't die of cancer. And see how my mind is thinking of making all this stuff up? Okay, let's see. George Harrison didn't die. He was on American Idol with Lionel Richie a week ago, and now let's go back to Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney and George Harrison hated each other because George Harrison knew that he was what? Not the real Paul McCartney. He loved the real Paul McCartney. Was he happy to make money with this Paul McCartney? This doppelganger, this Paige Nyman who wasn't Ariana Grande, he was happy to make a lot of money. He said the word, let it be. Let it be to John Lennon. John Lennon was constantly selling clues. They were getting their ass kicked by MI6. This was all because of what? See, no, this was all a story told to us, which you can watch literally and download with the click of a button and watch. But you don't believe it. You don't believe it because the guy's face looks exactly like another guy's face. And I know what you're thinking. This is insanity. You're rambling. You're talking. You're schizophrenic. You're bipolar. You're a psycho. Okay, well, let's look at it. Why, oh, why is it such a big deal for him to be someone else? It's not. But John Lennon was killed because of it, and I'm talking about it, so what was the point? What's the point of killing John Lennon if I'm here in 2021 talking about it? Well, because it's the future and you assholes always get away with everything. It's a Watergate and we killed a guy so Watergate wouldn't happen. It's stupid. John Lennon should be alive. Is Paul McCartney this guy, William Campbell, Billy Shears, whatever his name is he a great genius? Yes, he's a genius. He made Sgt. Pepper's, unless it wasn't Paul McCartney, the first one who had it on a piece of tape or something. Not a piece of tape, an actual cassette tape, and he listened to it. And he had years of cassette tapes. See, that doesn't sound true. The guy literally had geniuses. He knew how to play music. He continued from Rubber Soul. His music is Rubber Soul. Paul McCartney too. Maca is Rubber Soul all the way to Let It Be. Then all his other music is his. George Harrison died because it was cancer because of smoking probably, but he almost was killed. Freaking John Lennon shot to death. They all knew about it. What happened to the first Paul McCartney? It's very simple. The first Paul McCartney, 1964, I saw her standing there. 1963, I saw her standing there. Cavern Club. All this Paul McCartney. You know what he did? He had sex with a girl once. He had a daughter. and he had a daughter. Yes, Paul McCartney, this one has children, he does. But the first Paul McCartney, you know what he did? He literally had a daughter. He had a daughter. He had a song called Girl. He wanted to make the song Yesterday and Girl about his daughter that he wasn't going to be with because back in the 60s, you couldn't have a wife and have kids when you were in a boy band and all the girls wanted you. So he kept her a secret, and he this is the first Paul McCartney. 63, 64. He had a daughter. He was like a Bow Wow having a son. That he had the son, but now today you can talk about it, and it's a baby mama. Anyway, what did she have to do with anything? She tried to get a DNA test with this Paul McCartney, and they said that either they knew about this Paul McCartney, we don't know because we haven't. I don't know. This is what I don't know. They said that he was using his DNA, the doppelganger's DNA, to go in and take the test looking like him, but then he came out with different blood, so he's not his daughter. But the first Paul McCartney, it was his daughter. It was his daughter. No and. It's a mystery. Oprah can figure this out. So the point is, his first daughter, I think her name starts with a P and ends with a B. I don't remember her name. I'm not on Google right now. His first daughter, she's like, what, 50s, 60s now? She's like 30, 40, 50, 60s. His first daughter, that was the reason that Paul McCartney died. She doesn't want to, just emotional. It makes me emotional. Her dad died a horrible death. I'm not going to say it. It involved his head. It involved dying in a car. He died. Why? Because if you see, you just got to see the George Harrison tapes. The story is Paul McCartney and John Lennon, 1965, before 1965, they were sitting around Abbey Road or wherever the hell they were. They were in a room. He said, I want to make a song about girls. John Lennon said, we need to make songs like Bob Dylan. We need to make songs that are, like a Rolling Stone, blowing in the wind, all that stuff. They got in a big fight. He goes out in his car. He's driving. It's about to start raining. He sees a girl on the side of the road. Why don't we do it in the road? Now we'll do it as sex, but why don't we do it in the road? Why don't we just do it in the road? Great song that the second Paul McCartney made. A girl, the long and winding road, all this stuff. Anyway, the girl is a random girl. There's no Uber back then. There's nobody to pick this girl up. If he just keeps going, she's going to have to walk the entire way. He should have let her walk. He'd be alive right now. But then we wouldn't have Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I wouldn't be here. There'd be no Apple Corporation. A Paul Corporation. Apple. It's all crazy. It's exactly what Blofeld said, Inspector, that the meteor came and it killed, but it was a good thing. Crazy. The point is, am I crazy? Yes, I really am a crazy person, but I'm talking. Now let me go back to talking the bullshit way. George Harrison is dead right now. I'm going to pretend that George Harrison is not dead and he's really just alive in a bunker. It came out that way. George Harrison's not dead. He's really alive in a... George Harrison is not dead. He's really alive in a bunker. See how I'm making it up? But the fact that this was story told to me, you go, well, somebody made it up. John Lennon even confirmed in video clips, which of course he did, because he's not going to confirm it, because why would he confirm it? He was scared. He was scared that the Beatles would be hated. He was terrified that the Beatles would be hated the way they are. I don't hate them. I don't hate this Paul McCartney. I just don't want it to be that Michael Jackson, who may have known about this back in the 80s, may have stolen the Beatles' music by going, hey, I'm going to tell the whole world your Paul McCartney is dead and your whole story, but let me get the rights to your $1 billion Beatle music. Now Paul McCartney is pissed off. The second one, and Michael Jackson's killed because of it. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. It's this huge jughead talking about the Baxter Brothers killings in Riverdale. It's a huge story. It's crazy. All you have to do is click a link. George Harrison tapes. Documentary, Last Testament, George Harrison. Oh, but the tapes are not confirmed. The only thing that's wrong with that is it is the voice of Paul McCartney. I mean, not a voice of George Harrison. Just like I just said, the voice of Paul McCartney, they said 1966. It was 1965 because Rubber Soul is the first album artwork where the other three are looking one way and that Paul's looking another way. It was the first album Clues. His first song. What a headache. Is it all crazy? No, it's not his birthday, but we don't care. We don't care. We don't care that it's not his birthday. We don't care that this is Paige Nyman pretending to be Ariana Grande as if Ariana Grande got blown up if Ariana Grande exploded and died in the Dangerous tour and died, and Paige Nyman came on stage and said, "I'm still alive," and they're like, "Hey, she just blew up, a horrible death," would we care? We would know about it today because of the internet, but we don't know about it. I love Paul McCartney 1. I have cool feelings for Paul McCartney 2. Cool. I love Egypt Station. What are we going to do about this? Nothing, but just let it out. Let it out. Don't say you killed him, because you didn't. He didn't kill anybody. It wasn't Paul physically with a gun killing, but he's responsible. They're all scared of going to prison. They're all scared of losing fans. He's scared of not having an identity. He's still going to be Paul McCartney. It's his name. He's had it for 50 years. What do we care? Look at this documentary. It's the biggest documentary of all time. It's the biggest story. The Beatles are the greatest band. But you're wondering, what the hell does this make sense? If he was dead, wouldn't the Beatles know? Yes, they knew. They were called. They were called to this road to see Paul McCartney dead when he crashed and the girl that he picked up got out. She married him. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's not his birthday. The song, they say it's your birthday. They say it's your birthday. It's crazy. I am not crazy. We're going to go back to a lie. This is the lie. George Harrison is still alive. He's in a bunker somewhere. No, my head hurts when I say it. Why? Because George Harrison, and physically we can prove he's dead. He's not in a bunker. There's no missiles. But Paul McCartney fucking died. He was in a car with a girl who's alive right now, who may be dead in the next 20 minutes. Ringo knows about it. They're scared. They cried. They hated life. We need songs. We need music. I'm ready. I'm ready. Thank you. Not your birthday, Paul, but thank you for being Paul McCartney, and that's the end. Magnolia. Watch Magnolia.